Hey guys, today I want to talk a little bit about learning the basics to come over here. A lot of guys that come over here, what happens is this. A lot of guys that are coming don't even learn the basics. They say they watch my videos or they watch other people's videos and they come over here. They don't have a startup fund. They don't have the backup credit cards. They don't have the backup ATMs. They don't have any of the knowledge that a lot of us expats have taught people. A lot of the other channels, and also my channel mostly. My channel is really into like teaching you guys what your needs are over here, what the basics are. If you learn the basics, you'll be successful over here. And that is that you need a safe budget. You need insurance. You need to research the place you're going to stay. You need to research how to use phones. You need to research what apps you're going to need. You're gonna research all that stuff. You need to know what you're going to need to survive over here, and you're going to need at least a basic amount that you're going to work with and figure out a budget for the area that you're going to be living in, because some areas are more expensive than others. So like if you were to go to Alabang and you were on a $1,500 budget, you probably wouldn't make it there very well. You probably wouldn't survive. You'd probably be hard pressed to survive on that $1,500. You might be able to do it, but you'd be hard pressed to really try to make it over there on $1,500. Now, if you come to Tracy, we have a guy here who lives on about $1,000 budget, and he does okay. But he's not getting around. He's not going out to eat all the time. He's not doing any of the stuff that a lot of the expats like to do. He just is kind of low key, likes to stay home. You can live on $1,000 budget over here, and then you can bank the rest of your money or pay off debt back home. But you need to have the basics. And a lot of guys that are coming here, we had a guy come here the other day, nice enough guy. He come over here, no startup fund, bank issues right off the bat. And most of the guys, I know they deal with bank issues as soon as they get over here, because that's the number one showstopper from the time they get off the plane, is getting money into the country, because usually something happens. There's usually an issue with the ATM card. They forgot to tell their bank that they're going to be out of the country or whatever. That's usually one of the big showstoppers over here as soon as people get off the plane. And some people, they don't have any backup way of getting money. So sometimes what happens is they lock the account. So the guy has to call the bank, and the bank will say, well, we needed to come in, and you tell them that you're out overseas or whatever, and then they'll eventually open up the account. But I mean, it makes it difficult for you, because then you have to call back. Some people don't have Magic Jack on their phone or Magic app on their phone. So when they go to deal with their banks back home, suddenly they're having all these issues. If you do not do your research, this is the type of day you will have over here. You will run into all kinds of problems, because you're going to run into problems anyway. Even if you're well versed and you've watched all my videos, I can almost guarantee you, at some point, guess what? You're probably going to have a problem. And if you follow what I teach you and stuff like that, and what I tell you in my videos, you'll be okay. You'll be okay in most positions that you find yourself in over here in the Philippines. I'm not saying you're gonna make it through everything unscathed over here. You're not gonna get out of here unscathed. Trust me. Everybody has issues, whether it's out of stock PO or Bureau of Immigration glitches or something like that. It could be anything over here. It could be your Wi-Fi goes down when you need it the most or whatever. You need to call back home and something's going on back home. Your account's locked, or you lost your ATM and you can't reach home because you didn't put that app on your phone, or you didn't, the phone app to call back home, the Magic app. You didn't do something, or you didn't have T-Mobile or something like that, and you can't get your bank code, so you can't even open up your bank account to go in there to pay your bills or whatever back home. These are the biggest issues, and we have guys coming over here, and they bring their problems over here too sometimes, and that could be anything. It could be mental health issues, it could be alcoholism, it could be any of those things, and that's a huge problem over here, because when you bring those things with you, guess what? It just enhances your problems. It makes them bigger, and you need to work that out before you even come here, But guys, if you come over here and you get all your ducks in a row before you come here, it's going to be a much smoother transition, because if you're planning on coming, you need to really, really plan, write it out, get that whiteboard I talked about, do that. Most expats that come over here, most do not do enough research over here on what they're going to run into over here. A lot of guys think that they can stay up in BGC or they can stay in one of these wealthy sections because they think it's so cheap because they've heard these people talking about, oh, you can come over here, you can survive on 500, you can survive on 800. And I see these guys all the time, and they're not doing anybody any justice back home because some guy back home is sitting there in his house saying, geez, hey, I'm making 800 a month, and I want to go over there. And the guy finds himself over here in the Philippines, and guess what? He's stuck over here. He's stuck over here because now he can't get back. He has no savings. He's got no backup money. He's got no emergency money, and he has no startup money. And the biggest mistake people are doing over here is no startup fees. No startup at all. And they think they can just go out and find a place that's furnished and ready to roll. And sometimes you get lucky enough you can do that. But you know what? In most cases, guess what? There's not too many furnished apartments out there. And in our area right here, it's getting worse. It's getting a lot worse. It's getting harder to find furnished places. Never mind an apartment. In our area now, we find them, but guess what? They're harder to find. And, if you get lucky, today we got lucky. We found an apartment for a guy. We've actually found another apartment down the end of the street or home. And we also had one that we've always had, but it's kind of far away from us, so nobody really wants to stay there. It's a beautiful place, beautiful home. The guy wants $300, so it's a 2-bedroom in a gated community with a pool, but you kind of have to travel places. You have to travel to go any place to go get food and all that stuff, and that means you have to jump on a tricycle, and you have to travel quite far, by the way, from this place, this house. But for $300, it's got AC, it has beds, it has furniture, it has all the cooking utensils, it has things to wash your clothes, it has everything, and everything's like fixed up and brand new and rehabbed, and the place is ready to move into and ready to roll. But those are few and far between. And a home that price for somebody that's on a budget, $300 is not really a good deal. So that's why I tell people, go on the lower, if you're on these lower budgets, you have to live in a lower priced home. You can't live in a high priced home. But a lot of people don't get it, and then they find themselves broke later on. We had a guy here that came through here a while back. The guy was looking at $600 apartments, $500 apartments, and then he said, I want to go to Tagaytay. I'm going to go look at Tagaytay. I'm going to see what's over in Tagaytay. I want to find out what's going on over there. And we didn't hear from him for a while. All of a sudden, he calls up my girlfriend, and he says, hey, I want to try to find a place that's like for $60 to $100, like you guys always talk about. Well, first of all, most of those places are gone now. There's a few still out there that we can find here and there once in a while, but they're they're very few and far between. We have the one across the street that we just had to open up. We just found out about it by a miracle, and it's a beautiful place. It has a downstairs and a loft up above, and they want $4,000 for it. And that's not outrageous. That's actually a good deal to pay $80 for a place like that. It needs some fixing up. It needs some things done to it. That's okay. We can deal with that. Because sometimes you have to put a little money into these places. If you're going to take it for a long time, then you got you have to put a little money into it, and then it's yours. It feels like it's yours, your home. It's fixed up the way you want it, and you feel more comfortable, and you have a place that you can go home and hang your hat every day and say, you know what, I feel like I'm home. This is my home, and that's what you want here, and that's why you need to have that extra money, and you need to have, the emergency money. That's going to make you feel more at home. If you have emergency money, you have the startup money, you have a safety net, you have insurance, health insurance. You have life insurance. You have all the stuff in place before you come here. A lot of guys are just not coming with any of this stuff. Sometimes without any of it at all. And you just can't do it that way. You got the cart before the horse. And it's the other way around. You have to do the planning. You have to do the research. You have to save the money. If you do that, you'll be fine. Anyway, guys, I want to talk about that today. I thought it was kind of important to go through that because we are having people coming out over here, and I don't like to babysit, like a lot of these guys, and some guys I have to babysit sometimes, and I don't mind helping people, but people that didn't do the research and they come over here and they're asking for a loan or something because they didn't have the backup ATM card, or they did this here. That's they're learning from their mistakes now. And some of these people, if you help them, you're going to be helping them all the time. And I don't mind helping people, but the first mistake is, for most people, is money. That's the biggest mistake. They don't have any. They don't even have a couple extra dollars in their wallet sometimes. That's where the mistake starts, right there, is not having enough emergency money, at least to get you around here to pay for a hotel for a couple weeks or whatever if you run into some problems. At least do that. God bless, guys. Take care. I hope you enjoyed today's show.